I felt
Is it just so? Is it similar to like
keep no. We're
you got
all your skeletons.
what did they have to say about me? I'm not. Maybe we should all just take. Did that. I told
Yeah, he works for the VA. Yeah.
looks like that's me. And I told him to shut up. Played basketball against each other. Yeah, we played basketball.
Yeah, I'm good at talking and answering questions, so.
It's not too depth of questions.
My dad was 87.
Can't
He just
complain.
died in his
It's a five point something million. A little less than a fifth is police.
Johnny.
Whatever.
7. Your good DM.
I'm not advocating that you get like $5 million, probably. When they're probably what's their responsibility?
Yeah. Weaver County. Sure. I can.
Screwed that up. It's
Can you believe that?
I'm just waiting for.
That's why I don't have social media. I'm gonna defer all questions.
I think
Good luck.
And we'll see. He develops a little bit. He's on the
I don't know if to use this. And then everyone gets 30 seconds to answer it.
That's the best way. Stay.
4 or 5. Do watch it on Facebook. I don't
Yeah, usually. Went to wax.
all those people at the last meeting I went to. So I drove over there and I just drove it and I'm like,
It is. My in-laws just bought a truck.
Oh my word. Well, that.
They call me all the time. I'm like, I know.
Sitka, I hear about that all the time.
To catch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
they probably, especially with the rise.
Sick. But we had that little phlegm. And we started noticing half the ship was coughing with. Yes. And our room.
County. Taxes going up probably.
But
You want me to ask him?
Aren't any different than when we first. We're buying it for 600 to start. Starting now. Well, they get paid.
That'd be house broke. You'd see me. Shoes.
made that. I'm Rex Cragen, and I'm and we have we have for the mayor. What I would like to do tonight is an opportunity to introduce them. Each of you 2 minutes, and we'll go from there. And why don't we start?
All right, the luck of taking the time to come out and let me tell you just a little bit about myself. In business administration, with office, we're headquartered in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Norway, and other sites. I'm those countries in recruiting efforts. So, family, my wife. I'm married to city resident, born and raised here in Plain City. Member. She knows everybody in town. She's my camp. It's been great to have her a part of this. We kids in Plain City, they went to Plain City School. She's been around a while. I served in the Lions Club for a few years. I served 2 terms on the city council. Mayor. I love this town. Was it?
All right, so my turn. Love living in Plain City. We have as much as any resident here. My husband's here. He's probably like Lorna. My is off of him. So, and education, but if you want to talk education, I might not know how to do it, but I'm not afraid about learning things quickly. And I'm currently serving on the planning. On the planning commission, and I was really interested happy with the lot sizes that were going. So I got on the planning commission, and they've taught me a lot over the years, and I really like to do something a little more involved to do, and I really think that I can and transparency and really want.
My name is Sean Jones. So, long enough to spoon Forest Maverick. Those. So, I live out here with my wife. A lot of people know her, and 4 kids together. My got my master's degree from Weber State. Currently for the Department of Defense at least. I was a contracting officer. Buy stuff for the from air to bombs to parts on airplanes. Acquisition personnel, what I did. And a lot more fun. Just like I say, working for the department. Political. I kind of more. So, but that's what's good about this position. That's kind of why I'm looking for. I just kind of wanted to give back. I saw. And win or lose, I think you guys have. That's it.
Decide who you want to vote for, and appreciate you guys coming. Just a little bit about me. I have 3 kids. I have a bachelor's of science outside, in Harrisville, and the work entails we biotransport units. The reason I want to make sure we're prepared for the growth and continue growth. A little political or my community involvement, our local scout troop, and working with youth of leadership. Thank you.
I lived in Plain City for 41 years. Pretty busy at home. I work for Riverdale City. I'm a police. Cool experience. I've been on the council for the past 4 years. Hot to learn on how a city operates.
Questions, talk. We're going to call on and they'll have 60 seconds. Notice the yellow flag to the candidates that you need. We've that they let's start over with Phil Meyer. Give a question to him and or to make a comment again will still apply with the 15th to complete your remarks. And to be the first one to and this is directed to Phil Meyer. If you have taken cancer dealing with the city.
100% gives you money. I mean, that's a conflict of interest. And that, I mean, if you're going to serve with honesty,
I failed to mention that if any of these candidates up here go ahead and write your question right up here. You notice I said go to bed with her tonight, so I got to be on the we will try to get your question. This will be to Shauna Faulkner.
No rebuttal like from anyone, so I would not have to. So, if you didn't hear that, I'm not taking money.
I'm the same way, so if anybody's worked for, like, with ethics all the time, I didn't do any campaign money for a clear conflict of interest. You should recuse yourself. And you mitigate and, things like that. So, with the federal government, we can't
Thing, right? If I've received money,
Same answer for me. It's a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I jumped the gun before. What is going on in the city? How many hours a week?
So I wouldn't say I have a get elected. I'd be retired at the beginning of my. I think that it's important on the parcel lots and get every bit of information. Should be made on anything that you're in.
Going into this, I kind of look at this as a weeks, but I'm the same way. You get packets, and if there's not, I think there should be. Maybe on the same page with the fellow. I don't know. If I'm going to estimate, I'd say.
prepared. That I don't get paid for. Long before you show up.
A lot of different positions, and I'm on call 24/7. But if not, I'm always
Wait,
Sam Lincoln said if I had 8 hours, I think that you should be prepared for anything I need to at this job to get it done. That's how I'll approach it.
As it relates to the JD, what are the pros and cons of the what are your thoughts of
No, if I've had some conversations with people on this before. The negotiations of it might have an opportunity to work with the contractor. If I understand it correctly, and if we end up getting a lot of money when it comes to impact fee, take on without those fees. I think hopefully the state wouldn't force that upon us.
Cons are, do we have the money? The council and the planning commission made that. Right. The county, you know, obviously there's a reason everyone's saying no.
I
So I spoke with Scott. He laid out that there were going to be quarter acre. And all of a sudden we're looking at I want to annex it in right now. I'd say no. There's no reason for us to do that.
Senator Jenkins and the that we thought was pretty good, and they came back in. My feeling is then they should accompany that with impact.
Robert Lamb? If elected to address unsafe use of office.
Yeah, so obviously there's right? And that's a concern, right? No sidewalks, kids riding along them. And those are tough questions. Do we have, do we ask more from the county, right? answer. It's a complex question.
Being a police officer, I totally understand what they have. So I need more deputies, and they need more money. More deputies, but that's the only thing that's.
And we are spending in public safety money. $1 million going to Weber County for bang we're getting for a buck. I mean, there are meetings to understand what they're doing for us and some of these problems and issues we're facing.
Highway vehicles or just speeding in general?
Off-highway vehicles, and I think they're motorcycles. That is, you're familiar. One version, and then they have another and up to a higher rate of speed. And so any scooters that I have noticed going down the road and
So there is a speeding, and I think the ideas that were said, some people not have that presence, but something needs out here. Off-highway vehicle really push for that to be able to drive our office. That we're able to do out here. Safety.
You know, we have to you know, I can only imagine type thing, but you know, I think motorcycles and UTVs around is getting bigger, so it's kind of one of those things. Eventually, is going to have to bring more attention to that.
you propose to handle balancing is our current code.
Right this second.
Vision Utah, where the state to have a certain amount of lower. I don't know what the repercussion is, right? With the ruling, but I don't have something like maybe as apartment complexes.
I don't like to see apartments out here in Plant City at all. And I have 2 grandkids, housing. Stay out here. And that's the issue that I don't want apartments, but I am.
This is a tough one to answer. Morning and night, I understand. Moved to Plain City, Fremont High School wasn't here. Wonderful people come in, so there's some benefits. Right now, I don't know what the future will bring, but and how important it is to make sure.
There's no ordinance to even be able to build an as far as low income, or as they like to call it, identified on the future. Maybe that's more of a developer issue. I don't already identified.
Fight the state on that, and they lost. Try to do our own version. That having a place for our kids to, I don't know if that would be maybe some townhomes or something. The definition of what the state had.
Again, high density housing. Comply with that, and there were some that will work well, right? That doesn't include.
Okay. Our next question. Growth, and how do
Good question. There's a that's projected. They estimate say that growth is not an issue. Is how do you address it in Plain City? We're going to be putting this general plan together. Every single city needs to grow. We got legacy. Designate where the growth is.
So again, general plan is imperative, and come and let your voice be heard. Responsible growth for me is to our frontages at 100 feet. In cities, it's just all so.
Yeah, I need to check Phil's notes because when we first came out here, that was 50 years from now with the growth that we're having. So if we are going to have some higher, all that population's not right in the center. And use this general plan.
So my definition of responsible growth, right? To have the growth. sewage, water, those type of things. I know that's a
Said, but I feel like we need to get the community involved. I'll tell you how many times we'll have a public hearing. That would help a lot with citizens.
Our next question goes, does the schedule allow you to attend?
I'm old, but I'm retiring at the end of the year, so.
You know, we don't work 80-hour weeks. To personnel. But that's very rare. So
I could. I'll be here.
Beginning, I won't be able to attend every single Zoom, but I will miss meetings with
Hybrid, working from a home office. Planning on doing it next little bit here. Spend the time that's needed.
Your thoughts on hiring a city?
I think that I would be involved with because in growth. Have at least a city manager, if not them in place before you grow, rather than critical point where I definitely.
So, is it going to reward us? But can we use those funds for more important things at this?
that we need one yet. So
Um, 1,000 people. I mean, eventually, I think I'd rather see a city administrator where we can the city manager title.
City planner to help us write code. I think Diane does a phenomenal job. She doesn't. We need a city planner because of the.
Lamb. Plain
So there's a and revenue, which is, I mean, we get exactly what we want. I think the so it's just things that the citizens. Does it make sense?
I feel here in the center of Plain City. I don't think Nobody wants to see a Walmart out here. Like a Walmart gonna happen, but commercial will.
There's revenues, there are expenditures, and then I think this city could use some commercial planning, general. We need it. I mean, if you want the services to continue, and for this more growth, and that's part.
There's identified on the general plan already that now, and that could be based on our population, but looking at I think it's a good spot for some light industrial and some that growth could be, and then they can just get on the highway.
Big proponent of Kent's, to where I was actually a good, but I believe I saw that the property tax that we bring and AutoZone and Warren's and that is like crazy. Right? I don't think Walmart's coming out here for a little bit. We want to try to control the best we can, but we definitely.
Luigi Pennenzio. Or why?
Maybe in these little parks, but I don't feel like Plain City needs. I know a lot of people don't like it, and this is for our rec.
So we have 5 and the citizens donate a portion of that. So other needs, I think we could use another park.
Moms who would like to take their kids to a little park, anxious to go out and mow a lot more small lawn. If you get utilized by moms who just want
Indifferent on this one right now, just because I Robert said earlier, you know, another one of my, we've got that under control. We've got our niceties of parks, play basketball, but we definitely need to
Parks are great. My kids have in the current parks that we have, you know, what's the I'd like to see, you know, good roads.
Sheriff.
I met just a couple of weeks ago with he kind of laid out the structure. That we're getting a can it be improved? I think we're getting a pretty good bang for a buck. I'm not up to, I know that we have a big budget there, and I'm trying, and that's going to involve some meetings with Weber County.
The department does a phenomenal job. I think they're trucks or anything. They're really good at finding. The Weber County Sheriff, streets, but yeah, I think we just kind of need to see where that's happening. A little heavier. So.
I do agree, you know, we got all that. Police force out here when I can hear the cars racing up and down. How much money do we have, right? Look at weigh the pros and the cons with
Potential here in Plain City. I think we have options. Money together. Can we band together and if we got citizens coming here,
Fire department does great. Doing what they can, when they can, they come. But when they're out here, they
Okay. You balance infrastructure. Give us something other than.
I do think our public works people on Facebook are very inconvenienced by the people not wearing down. We just need to identify some places that need to be improved.
I think that's an important thing to look at. You know, there's things like, let's just say we've got a current situation. What's that going to do to taxes? Do we need to really good opportunity, because I know that one of the cities, so I think it's a prime opportunity to look at how we can improve our infrastructure.
they're required to put in curb, gutter. In the city that people developed, that we've defined, the city and the citizens, right? Make them do it.
Question was, how will you balance keep budget costs down?
Yeah, so I just echo what.
I believe that the infrastructure needs to be developed. And then thought about the infrastructure needs to look at infrastructure and make sure it's sound. it's a process. At all departments, every department does a good, Dan does a, we can eliminate the waste and we can improve the budget.
If you're elected as city officials, that you would act in their best interest. And state entity.
Really, I guess the only evidence I can give is my word. I've done my entire career, right? That we can do in our job. I mean, we don't do, but we're hammered with, determined. Again, the ethics that get hammered. That's just what I do, is really I really have no interest. It's really, I want what's best for Plain City.
Like Sean, I'm if it doesn't seem right, maybe the only evidence I have against for 3 years, and you can walk the sidewalk right into a
Every thing we talk about on the agenda is a bad for the city. So, city.
My litmus test is what's what's right and what's wrong. I'm not going to great guilt. I just want to serve, and I want to do what's right.
For anyone to go read through the past 8 years of how to protect the city from more example, like some of the it's the city council that involved there and let us know so we can up.
Robert Lamb. Excuse me. And how
people want a and that's my fees for cost, for recreation, whatever. Personally, I'm not for it. To the citizens. So if we can find money to department wants it, there's a lot of people for it. This is in the city before we start talking about.
I think the city would benefit youth. We would have and figure out how we would afford it.
wonderful thing for a lot of the it would be nice to see some large donor step up. So I think it's a lot of things would have to.
There currently is an advisory committee working on there are things that need to be worked out with donors. Going, and I would encourage anyone to use.
I'd love to have one out here, but I'd want to see. We're going to build it, I want it built right. But what's that yearly maintenance? It's cost on their thing, and lifting type things. I really look into what it is before I can say yay or nay.
Luigi Panunzio. Plain City faces moving.
Our roads are an issue. And just kind of what we've been talking about all night.
I think growth and infrastructure, but they go hand in hand. I think the city does a pretty good job, all in all. You know, home down there for the senior citizens. Negative that it's too quiet. That's a good thing. Look out the side of the block sometimes.
Growth and infrastructure. I think infrastructure before they build. A lot of people side that should not have been done, but it just shows exactly why you stick to ordinance without sidewalks. So.
Yeah. With costs, infrastructure. Looking at how much the taxes really talk about how we have the lowest tax rate in the state. A few years ago, where one day they woke up and they're facing. I think we need to be smart and look at that and say, okay, do we hurt you? But it's going to help the city.
So I got a couple things. It's infrastructure. To actually enforce the frickin' ordinance. There should be a shame to live in Plain City, and developers should never develop ever again in Plain City.
And why?
The high trails in Plain City, highly like to use parks and, yeah, to me, it's a
Map that's already been planned for the city, and it's great to develop that trail as we've planned ahead.
List of what's most important, but I definitely think it's if they've got a big development coming in, let's other citizens as well. So it's kind of on that with some developers. That would be
We afford it. Like, if that sounds harsh, but guess who's going to pay for that?
I wouldn't say it's a priority, but it wouldn't. I know I would use it. I would take my kids there.
How will you address the increase in housing options?
Thinking about that, that's a builder. Sure that providing smaller lots is not higher density when it's not really. I just don't know how.
and I agree. It's a lot of it's based on most LDS population. We was really hurt. The building costs have really. It's one of those things. It's definitely different. Everybody's got to start somewhere. All potential options of how can
It's a tough issue. We have a hard offered a list of things like basement apartments, mini homes, things like that, that far west control the price of housing. I think that's pretty hard to
Do because higher density, the smaller. I don't know.
a lot of it is driven by economic. Seeing building becoming available. I don't know where the market's going to go. $400,000. Look at so we need to open ourselves up for every phase of life.
Sean Jones. I mean, unethical things. Will you have the courage to take it?
Most definitely. I can harken back to an contractor that was responsible for doing that had actually been taking the an enterprise license. He'd been taking it on to get that kickback. Well, we've had meet with that employee, you know, respectfully ask for his badge. So to be held accountable and do what they get paid.
What would I do, or would I take?
Community staff, keyword. And ethical things that to take action.
Absolutely. So, with how we have ordinances, right? Right? The citizens expect.
Same. Absolutely. In my profession, it's all.
Yeah, I mean, running on the principle of transparency in government. And you gotta have integrity and honesty.
So I'm, and yeah, popular or unpopular doesn't something. So of course, take action.
How can traffic community be addressed?
A bigger police force, right? We kind of talked about this. So much, right? We are lucky to be a little. Right? I don't think it's, but it could be something we need to look at in that.
The congestion. But during school, 1975 north, it backs up. So I don't know how.
Outside, I don't know if that discussion's ever taken place. That, but there's a lot to look into. I'm a proponent of roundabouts.
I also really in favor of the lower streets that could use lower speed limits.
No, I agree. But I think that, but I also think as we're growing a infrastructure, you know, those types of things, congestion. I think that's a key thing is to have that transport.
About terrible. We're driving roundabouts there because you know how to do it, but we cannot.
Wrestle after find out if the roundabout's a good idea.
Situation and
Put me on the spot, huh?
Will you repeat the question?
Time you were involved in an issue to resolve.
I'm sorry, I can't think of something.
That question. City market, okay, and I went in there, pharmacy, and I got the pharmacy, this stuff, and I hate to my car. And I got out there and I thought, so I immediately, so what I'm trying to say from that is, I'm
Probably the last time was my husband wanted to take an Alaska. He got to choose.
You went to,
We did go to Alaska.
Is when I had a brigadier general that put in the position to advise this is going. And so I'm going up against you and tell you why I think this is a bad idea. So I think you've got to stand up and say,
My boss numerous times, that I disagreed with, but
two last questions. Property, if elected,
focus on growth and infrastructure. The major events that's going to happen in the city is this general that we let the citizens know about it.
So, well, I think really my number one goal is to
once we get in there and have those discussions, you know, like this, to where you can take the and figure out where you need to focus the burdening our current
general plan that looks towards growth, right? Normally, let's get a sidewalk on. Let's get it done. We have the money. We should have the kid.
a sidewalk with
My number one priority would be safety. Is try to get the to get in meetings, but what I need to do.
last question.
man, for sure. Fields go away, there's such great people. I just mostly love the people.
That's, oh, sorry, it was most loved. I would ride my bike. I'm weird, but like I love the smell. Not the sewer plant manure, right? But the open spaces, like
So, obviously, see the people, love the people. And I'm not related to, we're just a close-knit.
When I first started dating my wife, the first time, I told her, welcome to Plain City. So I grew up. I'm glad I got to build a house on it. That I did when I was little. That's what I love about it. And everybody is still so friendly out here.
We realize how great of a place this is. I mean, you're the sewer system in place. There was an infrastructure that when you're walking down the street. And we get good people in every day.
Excuse me, on behalf of Plain City, candidate night, you can, excuse me, meet with one-on-one if you would like. This